On Osrc News at 7, Ondo State government provides relief for victims of Owo church attack. University Alumni Associations Group warns of dire consequences of lingering ASU strike. EFCC arraigns Ogun State Speaker on 11 counts charge. And on the foreign scene, earthquake claims 46 lives in southwest China. The Ondo State government has provided succor for the victims of the June 5 attack at St. Francis Catholic Church, Owo. Chairman of the Donations Management Committee, Wale Akintarinwa, who led other members of the committee to Owo, said the move was in fulfillment of the promise of Governor Oluwarotimi Akeredolu to give required support to the victims of the attack. Recall that Governor Akeredolu had constituted a committee to manage funds donated by public, spirited individuals and corporate organizations into the Owo Terrorist Attack Relief Fund. Akintarinwa explained that the committee collected the names and addresses of all the victims, families of the deceased and the injured based on the funds received into the account so far. He noted that each of the families of the deceased and the injured have been given cash kits each, adding that the disbursement will continue if more funds are received into the account. Some of the families of the injured and deceased thanked the state government for the relief. One of the injured, Ayu Adetunji, a young boy, said it was God that saved his life. Adetunji appreciated Ondo State government for remembering him with such a relief fund. Those who benefited from the cash kits include Mr. Agbon Paul, who lost his late brother's wife, Evarators Oluchuku, Mrs. Ellen Ifeanyi, Fabian Nweke, Mrs. Theophane Ogebunam, Chief Titus Around Nuba, injured Sunday Festus, Precious Sunday, Oladile Christiana, Ozoruchu, Angela, and Ofene Joseph.
Members of the public, organizations all over the world were asked to support the state government and bring in money, donate money for the state government to be able to attend to the needs of the victims. That committee is here today.
It's a very sad one. It's one we pray we will never see in any part of our communities in Ondo State, in the southern part of Nigeria, and in the country as a whole. This will not be the first and last, but would the government be going to help till we see some measure of stability so that people can continue with their lives? For as long as we're receiving support, money from people both within and abroad, we'll continue to ensure that we reach out to the victims.
We use the opportunity to thank the state government for this refill.
The state government for the relief fund he have given to those that the diseased and those that have injured. I thank their efforts, what they have done to see that that everything is in place. So I'm very, very glad for that.
Christian Association of Nigeria (CAN) has stopped tough on the Muslim presidential ticket of the All Progressives Congress (APC), insisting that its opposition to the ticket remains unchanged. It also said it had not reached an agreement with the APC presidential candidate Bola Tinubu. There was a report that Tinubu met with the leadership of CAN over the controversy that arose from the party's choice of a Muslim ticket for the 2023 general elections. Debunking the report of the agreement between Tinubu and CAN, the Christian body in a statement maintained that it had not changed its stance on the continuous Muslim ticket. The statement by the Special Assistant on Media to the leadership of the association, Luminous Jana Mike, warned that Tinubu's presence and donation at last week's 70th birthday of Catholic Bishop of Sokoto, Most Reverend Matthew Kuka, should not be seen as a financial inducement to pacify the Christian community. And now on education, the chairman of the Academic Staff Union of Universities, ASU, Ebonyi State University Chapter, Dr. Ikechukwu Gwenyi, has said universities owned by state government in Nigeria cannot survive without aligning with the union for intervention and other assistance. It therefore reiterated that the chapter of ASU had not pulled out of the ongoing strike ordered by the national leadership of the union. In an interview in Abakaliki, Igwenyi said, majority of what state universities now enjoy are products of ASU's struggle and through the intervention of the Tertiary Education Trust Fund, TET Fund. Also, the Academic Staff Union of Universities Gombe State University Branch has rejected call for resumption of academic programs by the management of the university. At a press conference, ASU chairman in the university, Suleiman Jairo, said the institution benefited from proceeds of ASU strikes, including 57 physical structures of the 77 buildings on the campus. He said not less than 150 academic staff have been trained for master's and doctorate degrees through both Tertiary Education Fund, TET Fund, and Needs Assessment Fund, both intervention funds being products of ASU strikes. The union also regretted that the strike had lingered too long and pleaded with members of the public for understanding. Meanwhile, a group of alumni associations of Nigerian universities has warned that the lingering strike of the Academic Staff Union of Universities, ASU, could lead to disastrous consequences for the nation. In a letter, the group urged the federal government and ASU to come together and resolve the impasse. ASU has been on strike for more than 6 months. The academics are seeking improved welfare, revitalization of public universities and academic autonomy, among other demands. One bone of contention for the academic is the non-payment of university revitalization funds, which amounts to over 1 trillion naira. The federal government has, however, said it doesn't have the money to pay such an amount, citing low oil prices during the Muhammadu Buhari administration. And the federal government has set up a tactical committee to review its no work, no pay stance against striking members of the Academic Staff Union of Universities. The move followed a meeting by the Minister of Education, Adamu Adamu, with pro-chancellors, chairman of the council, as well as vice-chancellor of universities. The meeting held behind closed doors was part of efforts to resolve the 7-month industrial action by lecturers of public universities. The committee is to also look into issues of increase in the salaries of the university lecturers and come up with workable solutions. Away from education now, the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, has arraigned the Speaker of the Ogun State House of Assembly, Olakunle Oluomo, before a federal high court in Lagos. He was arraigned alongside the Director of Finance of the State Assembly, Oladayo Samuel, as well as the Clerk of the House, Adeyemo Taiwo. The defendants were arraigned this morning before Justice Daniel Osiago on 11 counts of conspiracy, forgery, and stealing. They also pleaded not guilty to the charge. Meanwhile, the court has granted bail to the Speaker of the Ogun State House of Assembly, Olakunle Oluomo, in the sum of 300 million naira, with 2 sureties in like sum. Justice Daniel Osiago granted the bail following no objections from the EFCC. Counsel for the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, Rotimi Oyedepo, had told the court that it would leave the issue of bail solely within the discretion of the court. The counsel to the Speaker, Kendi Ogunwumiju SAN, on the spot, asked the court to admit his client to bail on liberal terms. In granting bail to the Speaker, Justice Osago held that one of his sureties must be not less than a level 16 officer in the civil service, while the other must possess landed property within the court's jurisdiction. The court granted the second and the third defendant bail in the sum of 100 million naira, with two sureties also in like sum. Pending when they meet their bail conditions, the defendants will be remanded in the custody of the EFCC for a week, after which they will be transferred to the Abeokuta division of the court for further orders on their demands. You are still watching Osrc News at 7. After the break, we'll bring you more stories. Please stay with us. Website www.osrc.ng, or follow us on Facebook Osrc TV Ondo, and on YouTube you can subscribe to our channel Osrc TV Ondo. The DG of Akure, Obalade Tonyibu Aladelusi, says selected markets in the state capital will be closed tomorrow to celebrate the town's annual Amole festival. A statement by the monarch's chief press secretary Michael Adeyeye listed the affected markets to include Ojaoba to Erekeson main market, Odokwetu, Umesi and Ijemiki. The statement said there shall be no closure of Akure and its environs, while shops and stores will be equally opened for business. It also said the festival will not in any way restrict both human and vehicular movement. The relocation of Orange 94.5 FM to the headquarters of Ondo State Radio Vision Corporation Osrc Media Group, situated at Orita Obele, is fast gaining velocity. The ongoing cohabitation process, which has reached an advanced stage, is positioned to reduce government expenditure, maximize resources, and springboard the state broadcast stations for improved service delivery to the people of Ondo State. The chairman of Osrc Media Group, Mr. Kunle Adebayo, said the composition of the media village at Orita Obele will save government over 600 million naira yearly. Saeed Aribisala reports that Orange 94.5 FM is projected to witness a break in transmission on September the 12th, after which its operations will commence at its new home. Today's encounter will take place at the Audi Field in Washington.
The relocation process of Orange 94.5 FM, situated at Shagari Village, to the headquarters of Osrc at Orita Obele, is in full swing. Construction and readjustment of settings at the media village began following Governor Oluwarotimi Akeredolu's directive and approval. The movement of critical facilities to the new location has also commenced in phases, with the first set of transmitters and other equipment already positioned in their new homes. The project, which is carried out through direct labor, is supervised by in-house engineering and technical services department, headed by Mr. Femi Ayekomilogbon.
The construction of some of the areas to be used, the new areas to be used, has gotten to a very good stage. And because of the type of equipment we now use, which are now miniaturized equipment in terms of size, they are not bulky equipment like it used to be. And they function even far better than the old equipment. They consume less energy.
To ensure a smooth transition, the construction of ultra-modern studio for the radio station took off and is fast nearing completion. The chairman, Osrc Media Group, Mr. Kunle Adebayo, said just like Orange 94.5 FM, the first indigenous radio station in Ondo State, Sunshine 96.5 FM Alalaye, will also get new studios for optimal performance.
The new studios for Orange FM, which are freshly constructed, in terms of the masonry work, are about 99% ready. The equipments, the brand new equipments, because we are installing new equipments in all of them. Seizing the opportunity of this relocation to also prepare two brand new studios, ultra modern studios for Alalaye FM. This is what Ondo State is getting. by paying for relocation of Orange FM. We are therefore expanding to create 2 brand new studios. Instead of 1 studio that Alalaye used to have, we are creating 2 ultra-modern studios for Alalaye FM. As a matter of fact, the studio we are creating for Alalaye has the technical capacity for 3 studios. But it is 3 studios rolled into 1 studio.
While providing the economics surrounding the decision, the media group chief executive said government will be saved over 600 million naira yearly. In the breakdown analysis, he noted that the 6 million naira cost of mast maintenance at Orange FM, cost of running generator and operational vehicles will be reduced significantly.
Orange FM alone, in a quarter, government spends not less than 40 million naira on diesel only. Whereas at the television end, government does more than 65 million. If you extrapolate, it means that on Orange FM alone, 4 quarters that make a year, government is spending more than 160 million on diesel. And on television, government is spending more than 240 million naira on diesel. But the beautiful thing is that these 2 expenditures can be consolidated. We have done the power audit and we are sure that if all the 2 stations come together, making 3, the Alalaye 96.5 FM, the Osrc television, and Orange 94.5 FM will now be powered by 1 power generator, which means that instead of spending more on diesel at Orange, we will just spend the same amount we are spending on television to power Orange. It therefore means that government will be spending just 50 liters per hour on diesel, instead of 85 liters per hour that was being done between the Orange FM and Osrc.
As the reforms continue to reach critical stages, Orange 94.5 FM is projected to witness a break in transmission on September the 12th for few days, after which the station, which has warmed itself into the heart of many, will recommence transmission from the Osrc Media Village, Orita Bele. Sahid Arubisala, Osrc News.
Life, they say, is in phases. Mr. Francis Ojo has completed another phase of his life as a worker at the Ondo State Public Service for uninterrupted 35 years. Ondo State civil servants, serving and retired, family members and loved ones joined the celebrant and wife at the pens down ceremony in Accra, the state capital, to give God the praise for the successful service years. Omoriola Ongbiji has details.
This was the mood of Mr. Francis Ojo, who danced into the decorated hall alongside his wife, mother, and loved ones, showing gratitude to God for the successful service years. Pens down ceremony was performed by the Ondo State Accountant General and Permanent Secretary, Mrs. Tony Ojo. Praising the celebrant for his dutifulness and humility while in service, the Ondo State Accountant General said, Mr. Ayodele Ojo is a passionate worker whose attitude to work is worthy of emulation. Chairman on the occasion, Justice Aderemi Adegoroye, relatives, church members, neighbors as well as professional colleagues testified to the good works of the retired public servant. To the celebrant, Mr. Francis Ojo, enjoying God's mercy in public service for 35 years without blemish is worth celebration. He promised to now focus more on service to God and humanity.
The road path is full of thorns. and thirst to. But I thank God that God allowed me to walk freely without any itch. And I can say, without missing word, that I've run my race well in the civil service.
His wife and children also thanked God for the life of the celebrant.
I thank God Almighty who give him the strength to do it. You know, it's not everybody that can do it and succeed, but we thank the God Almighty that is with him from the beginning to the end of the time.
So I'm very sure I can say to everybody here that they know my father is a good person. He was never a bad person. Who came here to celebrate with him, and I'm very happy for everybody who came here.
Mr. Francis Ojo started his civil service career in Ondo State as a clerical officer on grade level 4 and rose to the position of Director Accounts, grade level 16. After traversing the length and breadth of the civil service in Ondo State for 35 years before he retired as the Director, Treasury Services, Office of the Accountant General, Ondo State. Omoyo Lahunwiji, Osrc News.
The president of the Nigerian Bar Association, NBA, a senior advocate of Nigeria, Yakubu Makiawu, has inaugurated a 15-member committee to investigate the immediate and remote causes of the sad incident on Tuesday, August 23rd, when lawyers broke into the pavilion for the distribution of conference materials, destroyed the booth, and carted away bags and other valuables. The incident occurred during the recently concluded 62nd Annual General Conference of the NBA at the Eko Atlantic City, Lagos. At the inauguration ceremony, which was held on Monday, the NBA chief charged the chairman of the investigation committee, the Attorney General of Ekiti State, Wale Fakunda, SAN, and the other members to also make recommendations concerning the incident, taking into consideration Nigeria's constitution, the Constitution of the Nigerian Bar Association of the Nigerian Bar Association 2015 as amended in 2021, Rules of Professional Conduct for Legal Practitioners 2007, and other relevant legislations, policies, and guidelines. The committee has 4 weeks within which to submit its findings and recommendations. An imposter, Obiako Chukwuemeka, pretending to be a medical doctor working with the United Nations as a humanitarian aid at the National Hospital Abuja, has been uncovered and handed over to the police. Police sources say Chukwuemeka, whose origin and age are yet unknown, has since been detained pending his arraignment. This comes about 1 week after FCT Minister Mohammed Bello accused visitors from neighboring states, traders and beggars of being behind the security breaches witnessed in Abuja, adding that his administration will send them packing. FCT Police Commissioner Sunday Babaji has also said the G7 joint security operations that was being revived had received the support of sister security agencies as well as the commissioners of police in the member states, who had all agreed on the need to collectively flush out criminal elements. Now moving to the foreign scene, Liz Truss now officially become Britain's new Prime Minister at an audience with head of state Queen Elizabeth II after the resignation of Boris Johnson. The 47-year-old former Foreign Secretary was seen in an official photograph shaking hands with monarchs to accept her offer to form a new government and become the 15th Prime Minister of a 70-year reign. The symbolic ceremony took place at the Sovereign's remote Balmoral retreat in the Scottish Highlands as the 96-year-old Queen was deemed unfit to return to London due to ill health. The last time the handover of power took place at Balmoral was in 1885 when Queen Victoria was on the throne. Normally, the outgoing and incoming Prime Minister meet the Queen in quick succession at Buckingham Palace in central London. It has only been held once outside London since 1952, when Winston Churchill met the new Queen at Heathrow Airport after the death of her father, King George VI. At least 46 people were killed when a strong earthquake struck southwestern China as violent tremors in a remote region damaged homes and left some areas without electricity. It was gathered that the quake hit about 43 kilometers southeast of the city of Kardin in Sichuan province at a depth of 10 kilometers. Chinese state broadcaster CCTV said that 17 people died in Yan City, while 29 deaths were reported in neighboring Ganzi district. Local residents say tremors shook buildings in the provincial capital of Chengdu, where millions are confined to their homes under a strict COVID lockdown, and in the nearby megacity of Chongqing. And with that story from the foreign scene, we conclude the news tonight. But before we go, a quick look at the top stories. We told you in the news that the Ondo State government has provided succor for the victim of the June 5 attack at St. Francis Catholic Church, Owo. And chairman of the Donations Management Committee, Wale Akintayowa, who led other members of the committee to Owo, said the move was in fulfillment of the promise of Governor Oluwarotimi Akeredolu to give required support to the victims of the attack. A group of Alumni Association of Nigerian Universities has warned that the lingering strike of the Academic Staff Union of University, ASU, portends grave consequences for the country. In a letter, the group urged the federal government and ASU to resolve their differences. The Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, has arraigned the Speaker of Ogun State House of Assembly, Olakunle Oluomo, before the Federal High Court in Lagos. He was arraigned alongside 2 others on 11 counts of conspiracy, forgery, and stealing. And from the foreign scene, we told you that a strong earthquake has killed 46 people in southwestern China. And that's the news tonight. Thank you very much for your time. Good evening.